was.
Yes. Well, at KCAA, we have a plethora of great shows here. And Sundays at 4 p.m. is the Bruce Montalvo Show.
Yay.
And Bruce is an investigative journalist, travels to historic crime scenes, to really investigate and see what's going on. And he joins us right now on the KCAA Morning Show. Bruce, welcome to the show. How are you guys?
Yay! Hi, Paul. Great to be on with you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's great to have you, Bruce. And Bruce, I really enjoy what you do because I look at tragedies that happen, like in the assassination of JFK. And I've always said that it was something fishy going on. And Bruce, you investigated that. And what were some of the things that you came up with? Well,
first, I'm very glad to be a part of the KCAA family. You guys have so many wonderful shows. I mean, Roseanne's show, your guys' show, I could
Wait. So Roseanne's better than us?
No. You guys are all equally good in my book. Love all you guys.
I'm just kidding. Nice.
But yeah, I wanted to get that out there. I'm so happy to be a part of the KCAA family, and that you guys took my show in and believed in me. So thank you guys, and thank you so much for having me on.
Wonderful.
Well, you're more than welcome. And I am an admirer of your work. What made you get into investigative journalism?
Well, the Kennedy assassination is something that has always intrigued me, and I since I was a kid, I was I was blessed to have good teachers, and they didn't hide anything from me. They told me, hey, these are the good books to read. Hey, read your 1984, your Fahrenheit 451, and I did. And since I was in school, I always knew that there was something fishy about the JFK assassination. I was a big fan of Oliver Stone's movie, the 1991 classic JFK, and it's all there. A first grader can do the research and figure out that there's something wrong. I mean, you have eyewitnesses at Dealey Plaza. Some who are still alive, like Bill Newman, who stated that there was a shot that clearly came from behind the grassy knoll. So many other testimonies that have been withheld from the people. Mary Mormon, she was there. She saw what happened. I mean, it's as clear as day. Anybody can do the research.
Yeah, and you know what? I remember looking at a couple of documentaries on it, and just the way it kind of it didn't tie the President Bush. The first President Bush. It didn't tie him to the crime or anything, but it was just interesting how he rose up in the ranks after JFK's assassination, and I thought that was just that just blew me away.
Absolutely, he was there. He was there at the scene of the crime. He was a up and coming CIA agent at the time. So it's all just very eerie. All these coincidences, so to say. When you're an investigator, you're not allowed to believe in coincidences anymore.
I totally agree, Bruce. And even like the tragedies that happened here in the United States with the assassination of Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, 9/11, and everything.
Bobby Kennedy, it goes on.
Bobby Kennedy.
And it's interesting to know. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's interesting to note that his son, RFK Jr., has stated that the official story is a sham. It's not to be trusted.
So is that what you'll be talking about on your first show?
Actually, I've had many shows already.
You have? Okay,
yeah.
Tells you how I'm... Okay, sorry.
It's okay. No, it was a documentary I did. Again, I was a contestant in Alex Jones's contest last year, so I had planned to always go to Dealey Plaza, as a tourist, but it really opened up the door when I was a contestant to go out there and do the investigative work.
Wonderful. No,
you actually have a YouTube. And I think your YouTube is amazing now. Did you get a chance to meet Alex when you entered into this contest?
Not at all. There are ghosts out there.
Alex,
there are ghosts out there. They wanted nothing to do with me, man.
Alex tried to big time you, man. That's cold, man.
You know, it's cold as ice, cold-blooded, like Rick James would say.
So do you think you could investigate the death of the city of San Bernardino and bankruptcy? And
Wow. You know what?
That's deep.
I would love to have city attorney Jim Penman on. It would be great. So if he's listening, you are invited
so would we.
to be on my show.
Yeah, we've been invited on this show too.
So get in line.
Yeah, you can something up. Bruce, let's talk about your background. You know, because you know when did you know this was something you wanted to do? You know, you talked about your teachers and everything, how they kind of molded you, but when did you realize, hey, I want to be an investigator, journalist? I want to find out what's really going on. What kind of spurred your interest into taking this road?
Well, again, Alex Jones has something to do with that. You know, his work. You know, getting out there and saying, hey, you know, I can't do this alone. But really, it's more like the state of the Constitution and where it's at, and just all the war crimes that have gone on since 9/11. I mean, it was tragic. 3,000 or so plus people died, but the deaths that have preceded that are far more, and we can stop that. I mean, the hot topic today is, women in the military. I say the topic should be, bring them home, period. Bring them home. End these unconstitutional, undeclared wars, because why don't they send their kids out there? No, they send the blue-collar people's sons out there, and that's not right. That's got to come to an end. I believe there was a law that's out there that states whoever votes to go to war needs to send one of their own firstborn kids out there, and it just goes to show you war's evil. It's terrible, and that's pretty much why I'm in this business, to really advocate for the Constitution, and the fact that I'm going to take a line from Judge Andrew Napolitano's book here, the fact that it really is an exile, and we need, all liberty-minded Americans need to stand up and really advocate for the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, which is the code of ethics of our great country.
He's not joking either.
Bruce,
He's got his hand in a fist. He is shaking. He is serious.
Yeah, Bruce, and you know, and that's one thing in radio and in media, period. You know, you can tell when someone has a passion for something, and we can tell that you definitely have a passion and you believe in what you're doing, and that's what makes you, you know, so good at it. And Bruce, what are some other things on your show that you discuss on Sundays?
Well, it's, you know, I cover all topics. Being in L.A., you know, I'm kind of starstruck now. I'm so blessed to have just great friends out there. Actor, I recently interviewed actor Damian Chapa, who, of course, if you're familiar with the film Blood In, Blood Out, he played Miklo Belka. So I had him on the show, and we discussed, you know, everything from his career to maybe possibly even getting a role in one of his films. So
nice.
I love what I'm doing right now. And also I talked to his co-star Enrique Castillo, who, if you've seen Mars Attacks or Deja Vu, so many other films. I mean, he's in those films. He played Montana. I'm just real blessed to have the support of my fellow Angelinos, and of course you guys. You know, because I am an Inland Empire area native. This is where I hang my hat to sleep. So you know, you guys, it's great to be on KCAA.
Wonderful.
That's cool. Now, do you have a Facebook or a Twitter? Our website you want to give out so our listeners can check you out?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you could go to Twitter, look me up, Bruce Montalvo, Facebook, YouTube. Again, we broadcast here on KCAA, AM 1050. I like to say it that way. NBC News Radio with you guys at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Keep digging.
That's
this
cool.
is interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Tell me about it. Now,
the bottom of it.
Now, Bruce, what is we got a few minutes left, but what is your take on the HAARP? The HAARP machine that's out there. What do you think about that?
Wow, that's amazing that you guys are even talking about that. Wow. You know, I'm no scientist, but the fact that, you know, you got all this geoengineering out there, and, you know, I took my daughter out to the park, and, you know, you see it. You know, the military is already admitted that all these chemtrails, and all these, it's part of geoengineering. So what are they doing? Supposedly they say, they're altering the ionosphere, or it's ionospheric research. As a citizen, I only know as much as I'm allowed to know, unless you really go out there and research it yourself. But really, I mean, it's all Nikola Tesla-based technology. We know that, but it's there's some that speculate that it can alter the jet stream, or not necessarily create modify the weather. If you change the jet stream, you're tweaking the weather, so to say.
And Bruce, you know what too? One of the things that I'm trying to investigate too is rods. I'm sure you've seen a video of so-called rods. What happens? In cameras, you see these things spinning around. And
what?
Rods. Yeah. So if you Google that, rods, and you'll see like a video, and you'll see these things like floating. Some people say that they're from a different dimension.
Like the Roswell rods?
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm gonna check that out.
I'll check that out, Paul. But I wanted to touch up again on HAARP. Then many prominent, the president of Venezuela, even Iranian President Ahmadinejad say, hey, that's a weapon. So I mean, I'm going off what prominent world leaders are saying as well.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Hey, but Bruce, we enjoyed talking with you. We'd love to have you back on again, and you're a great person, man, and we're glad to have you on the KCAA family. And one of these days, I'd like to join you on your show, because I'm a big conspiracy theory guy.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Love to sit down and we can do it.
It'd be great to have you guys on. You guys got my number. You guys more than welcome.
We know where to find you.
Yeah, we know where to find you at 4 p.m. Hey, Bruce,
excellent.
Take care of yourself, man. We really enjoyed it, okay?
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
All right, this is KCAA Morning Show. Paul Lane, Aaron Breaker, and Mia Mocha. Stay tuned for the Ed Show. So you guys have a great weekend, and you guys take care. Mia, it's all yours.
Currently, it's 57 degrees in San Bernardino.
Ready to throw up like a bomb.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m. The station that leaves no listener behind.
NBC News Radio, I'm Pete Williams. The White House is reaching out for public support for its new proposals to curb gun violence. NBC's Kristen Welker says cabinet members are at a meeting in Virginia to study the campus shooting at Virginia Tech in 2007.
Vice President Biden out today holding that roundtable talking about gun legislation. He'll be joined by his cabinet secretaries as well as Democratic Senator Tim Kaine to really try to talk to the people about why he thinks this gun legislation is a good idea.
A federal appeals court says President Obama violated the Constitution when he bypassed the Senate to fill vacancies on the National Labor Relations Board. Today's ruling is a big win for Republicans and business groups who argued the president's recess appointments a year ago were improper. The issue is likely to wind up before the Supreme Court. And anti-abortion activists are in the streets here in Washington for the March for Life, 40 years after the Supreme Court said the Constitution guarantees a right to abortion. This is NBC News Radio.